Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals, and here I've got game 2 of a best of 3. It's from the PvZ UK Masters, so let's get straight to it and introduce these two players. In the lower left position of Cloud Kingdom, spawning as the blue Zerg. From Team Liquid, it's Red. And his opponent up in the top right, the red Protoss player, representing Fnatic, NightEnD. So, what happened in game 1? I hear you scream and ask, well, this is a YouTube VOD, so pause this video and go and open it up because it was a cool game. Rek gave you all a masterclass on how to deal with an Immortal Sentry all-in. And indeed he did it very well. He pushed forward, he delayed the push long enough to get out a lot of Mutalisks, and then really it was a done deal. He had loads of Mutas out, very few Stalkers or anything that could actually attack them for NightEnD, and so it was inevitable that really Rep was going to win it. So, Rep played very well in game 1, NightEnD no doubt wanting to come back fighting in game 2. Cloud Kingdom is a great map for, well, harassing the third base of the Zerg because there's two wide ramps and then a narrow choke where you can get force fields off between the hatchery and the cliff. It's also a good map for Protoss players to actually take their own third, because they can get some nice wall-offs with gateways, with photon overcharge. You can get it very early on, very, very safely. So there's different options. Once you add different options in for a Protoss player, it gets a bit more difficult for Zerg to really work out what's going on, because Zerg is very reactionary to what the opponent does. And currently Red is going for a 15 pull. Nothing wrong with that. Probably going to get a 16 hatch most likely, and then really just transition to a quick third base, assuming of course the NightEnD does go for a Nexus first, which is what I'm expecting. And a Nexus first on Cloud Kingdom is very, very safe to do, especially when you scout nice and early and seeing that your opponent isn't going for a 6 pool or something silly like that. So, all in all, little drone on pro battle here. Pylon block going down. NightEnD is having none of this. So they know you want an expansion? Tough. You're not having one. May even come and block down here as well. Gonna pro block at least. Probably just gonna delay it even more if possible. His own Nexus has been delayed though due to going for the pylon block, and it's actually going to be a Forge first, but an 18 Forge, so very, very late Forge coming down there. But as we can see, this probe just delaying even longer, being incredibly frustrating. And are we going to see any kind of pylon block at this third base? Because as a Zerg player, if a pylon goes down on your natural, you tend to just take the third first because you know you're going to need both. But no, nothing going to block it much longer, but still a bit delayed. Only about 40 seconds to take out this pylon, minute at the most to take it out and get down the hatchery before Rhett's actually behind the point he'd want to be getting that down. But having said that, you do have a little bit of time to adjust for it because, let's face it, this Nexus was delayed just due to getting the pylon down, and that's 100 minerals. So, all in all, we've got Rep with 4 lings out on the field, going to be able to take this down very, very quickly, and hasn't actually been delayed hardly at all. Still gets his third base down before the 4-minute mark. Incredibly nice play there by Red, just really optimizing it. Probably skipped a queen, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, so the queen, one queen was skipped, I think. No, there's the queen. Okay, so he must have skipped some drones or something just to make that work. But all in all, he's still looking lovely economically. Slightly behind that of NightEnD, but that's to be expected when you're chrono boosting out probes 20%, no, 50% faster. What am I on about chrono boost saying? It is, look, it says it right there, 50% faster. Why did I say 20%? What am I thinking of? It's really bothering me now. There's something else. I'll try and work it out by the end of the cast. But there's definitely something that's 20% slower. Or faster, or something like that, who knows. But yes, anyway, as we've got now, the probe is pushing forward, pulling back actually. The Zerglings gonna be able to probably take it out. There's 2 more turns this probe will have to make, which means the Zerglings should be able to get the kill. Oh, it's gonna be very, very close though. Will it go down? No, the probe does survive. 5 health, comes back, deposits its minerals in the Nexus, and everything looks safe. Rhett, he's got his third base up and he should just drone. Sees the Cybercore finishing up, knows this is the point where he needs to try and work out what's going on. And the third assimilator makes me think that it's quite likely it's going to be a Stargate. Just a blind read. It could also be a Twilight Council into DT rushing. It could also be a robotics facility. We'll wait to see, but I just get the feeling that it's going to be a Stargate. I've just got that gut feeling. Mainly because there's not a +1 coming down or anything like that, so we'll wait to see what NightEnd's going to do. But generally, you don't get 3 gas unless you're going really tech heavy. So, okay, it's not going to be a Stargate now because there was a Forge researching +1. So, very unlikely to be a Stargate at this moment in time. All in all, the Zerglings holding the map control. We do have a Zealot pushing forward, but that Zealot will die quite a catastrophic death if it does decide to come in to an engagement with more than about 4 Zerglings. So, that is always bad times. The Stargate is coming down. Okay, NightEnD, you're just messing with me now. You're messing with me. I thought it was going to be a Stargate, then you got +1. How am I meant to deal with this? That you're sending me confusing signals. But hopefully you're also sending Red confusing signals and that he's not quite sure what's going to go down. But Red, I don't believe, has actually scouted out the Fortress researching anything, but is going to now. In it comes, sees, okay, researching, chrono boosting off there. And we've also got the +1 coming down. No sign of the Stargate. This Stargate is in an exceptionally difficult position to scout because the Overlord, no matter which way it comes in from, is very unlikely to be able to get over there before getting taken out. Is going to try to, so this in itself is a good read. We should see some additional gateways chucked down as well from NightEnD now, because if he's getting +1, he's going to want to commit to some gateway pressure. Probably going to be Phoenix out of the Stargate, I would imagine. There we go. So at least that read was okay. You don't tend to get oracles unless you rush them out quite soon, because otherwise you kind of miss that opportunity to really deal good damage. And also later game, Phoenix is still very, very useful. Oh my goodness, is Red going to scout this? He sees so close. Okay, so he sees that. Is he going to go the right way? He should spot the Stargate. No! No, Red, yes, there we go. Okay, so Red sees it. You can also see that a Phoenix is being made there, so that is a great little scout out. The robotics facility also coming down, though. Will Red spot that? The answer, yes. So he sees absolutely everything. 4 spore crawlers are coming down, so Red really doesn't want to mess around now. He's like, no, we're not having any of these shenanigans with air units doing things I don't want. A proxy pylon is now in production. Red currently just getting out some evolution chambers. He's got his lair already done. He's up to 4 gas, and he does have his Roachron and Hydra Den, so he's going Roach Hydra against this composition, which is really nice. That's a good decision to make, ultimately due to the fact that if your opponent's gone for Stargate, they are going to delay the speed they can get Colossus out, and if you don't have any Colossi on the field, Hydras are very, very strong. Even if you go Roach Hydra against Colossi, ultimately Red, if he gets the feeling there's going to be Colossi very quickly, and by the time he gets like 3 or so out, he should be able to get up to Hive Tech very happily, get some Vipers, get some good abducts down, and be like, herped up, your Colossi are in my Hydras, so guess I'll just kill it instantly. This Zergling killing off the mean creep tumor that's blocking a hatchery, because that's a misclick everyone's made. I know I've made it countless times, and you're like, oh, why did I do that? Still though, we've got the Zealots pushing forward, we've got those sentries moving forward, we've got the Phoenix trying to do some nice damage. In comes the drone though, the drone moving back, doesn't want to die. We do have the Queen doing some nice damage, a lift coming down though, and that's lifting very, very effectively. The Phoenix is taking some damage though from the Spore Crawler. The Zealots though, doing a good job of taking down that Spore. The Queen is relifted, does get taken down, that's going to hurt the production. We've got a Spine Crawler on its way as well. This third base desperately needs to stay up. 10 Hydras are in production, 1 Hydras, a couple of them popping at the third base. This is going to be very, very close, but I think it should just go down. Now the Mothership Core's coming as well. There we go, so it does get taken out. That is a big loss for Red. Now back to 2 bases. NightEnD with a good little push, but loses his Mothership Cores and lose these sentries. The Phoenix also taking a bit of damage, but should be able to pull out in time. The Queen, the Phoenix, the Queen and the Hydra's taking out the Phoenix, but now the counter push will inevitably be coming in. Lots of Zealots, lots of Hydras, lots of Zerglings. This is always good fun times. Muscular Augments is on its way, but it's still a good 80 seconds away from completion. The 4th base getting taken, the 3rd base getting retaken, because you've got to double expand after losing that much. Red's got the money for it as well, but he desperately needs to get up to 4 bases now to compensate. He knows that the 3rd isn't down due to the Zergling patrolling very effectively. The Phoenix coming over with the Hydras there on their way. This first Colossus is about to pop. That's going to help massively in dealing with this force, but 1 Colossus is not really going to be enough to stop it. It doesn't have extended thermal lance either. That is still well, 40 seconds away from completion. No, 50 seconds, should I say, away from completion. So that is time the NightEnD not really happen. The Zerglings are coming in. The Hydras are coming in. What are they going to focus on at the moment? They're just trying to take out that cannon. The Colossus is about to die to Zerglings, which is something you don't often get to see. And, well, the Mothership Core yet again probably going to get focused out fairly quickly. The Phoenix could also do with getting taken out, but currently Red just favouring taking out a lot of probes here, hurting the economy as best he can. The Mothership Core is now taking damage, does just survive with 18 health. That is incredibly lucky, but Red managed to kill 9 workers there. He's falling back. He is ahead by what is now 17 workers, so that is very, very nice for him. He's getting Enduring Locust, so going to be going into Swarm Host. Needs Hive, though, needs to desperately get in a position where he can get out Vipers just in order to deal with those Colossi, but knows that there's still no 3rd. NightEnD stuck on 2 bases. Red now up to 4. This is going to allow him to start getting out more drones, getting his income back to where he wants to be. The 5th, the 7th and 8th, the 4th and 5th and 6th gas all up and running yet again. The first Swarm Hosts on their way. 2-2 upgrades coming down. 1-1 is done for NightEnD, but he doesn't have his Templar Twilight Council done yet, so he can't start the 2-2 quite now. So that means he's going to get very far behind. He's already a minute behind in terms of the upgrades compared to Red. That's a good opportunity window for the Zerg player to try and really capitalize on. The 2nd Colossi is about to pop. So, 2 Colossi on the field can start moving, doing a bit of pressure. The Phoenix need to be a lot more proactive though. They haven't actually killed, as far as I'm aware, any workers. They got a Queen, but that was it. More Spine Crawlers on their way down. NightEnD just sitting in the middle of the map at the Watchtower. Doesn't know when quite to move forward. The Swarm hosts are still increasing in number. We've just got more and more coming out. They need to burrow up and they'll be able to hold this push off for a long time. 2 Colossi will not be able to hold it off that long. Where is the Observer with the army? So that's good news. We see that Extended Thermal Lance is completed. That means that these Spine Crawlers can take some damage. The Swarm hosts are burrowing. The Locust will start spawning, and that wave upon wave of Locusts should be able to hold this off because the army for NightEnD not that big. Red is ahead by 30, just under 30 supply, which will probably exceed that fairly soon. He's getting Corruptors out as well. Swarm host Corruptor, a good way to deal with this force, until of course Void Rays come out. If NightEnD starts producing Void Rays and mass, then he will be able to deal with those Corruptors very quickly and very efficiently. The other thing Red hasn't really been doing is spreading creep, and a little pro tip for you: if you haven't joined your bases up as a Zerg player with creep and you've got lair, just position some overlords there and generate creep. It's a great way to do it. It means that you kind of make up for the fact you don't have creep spread. 2 more Stargates are in production. That's going to help the Void Ray production to transition into Void Ray Colossi. And, well, for Red, he's got to really deal with this army fairly soon. He needs to burrow these Swarm hosts very, very quickly. He's got 4 Corruptors coming out. He's going to lose this 4th base if he doesn't do something soon. But there goes the bow. The Locust should start coming across. The Corruptor's going to try and deal some damage. Quite a few drones did go down. Well, actually not that many. 4. So Red keeping a lot alive. He's going for a Zergling counter-attack as well. There are some Zealots here. But of course the Zealots are 1-1 against 0-2 for these Lings. And, well, while we get some warpins of some more Zealots and cannons, emergencies getting thrown down, we've got the push still coming in. But these Zerglings should be able to do some nice damage. They're coming straight into the middle line. They want probes. Lots and lots of dead probes is all that Red requires. And he is getting quite a few good kills. Meanwhile, we've got the push coming in. We've also got a good train of Zealots coming in towards the natural base. And there's nothing here to defend those. So that is a good little push out of NightEnD. Red has killed 20 workers now. 11 killed so far by NightEnD. The Colossi taking some damage. There's not that many Stalkers. But the Locust pushing forward. They're dealing with the Phoenix very nicely as well. The natural base though for Red taking a lot of damage. 2 lone Hydras desperate to try and deal the damage. They know they need to do the Queen as well, trying to help. Transfuse is going down because you've got to keep this Nexus up, this hatchery up rather. If the hatchery goes down, your economy is not going to be in too much of a good spot. Red really fighting to keep it alive. It's going to be so close. Gets the Transfuse just in time, and it will stay up. That is a big win there for Liquid Red, and means that his economy is still in good shape because he's got all of these hatcheries up, just under 80 drones, but 3 Void Rays in production at a time. There's already 2 out on the field. These Void Rays will help deal with the Corruptors. But the important thing to note is there's only 2 Colossi on the field. The Stalker count only at 6. That means that these Swarm hosts, that these Hives can go do some good damage. One thing I wish Red had gone for is a Hive. He's still sitting on Lair Tech. And if he had Hive Tech, he could get some Vipers out, he could go for some good stuff. But the Colossi coming in, the Void Rays are a bit far back. You need a lot more Void Rays than those. Even though they're good against Corruptors, you still need a good count of them. A single Colossus remains, and that just means that this force can keep powering forward, dealing the damage. Where are the Swarm hosts? Well, they're coming around the side. They're going to come up in this position, start besieging into the 3rd base of NightEnD, and NightEnD is in a lot of trouble here. He's 50 supply behind. The Hydra's doing a nice amount of damage. The Corruptor's trying to get some volleys off. Prismatic Alignment being triggered on those Void Rays. The Phoenix eating some of the damage. The Corruptor's getting taken down very effectively. The single Observer is still with the army. I wish Red had another Overseer with this, because then he can snipe that up. But the Void Rays are going down, and there's the GG. NightEnD knows he did not have enough there to defend it, especially after those Void Rays focused by the Hydralisk. So good play there by Red, taking the series 2-0. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and if you did, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I get new games up daily. I'm Madals, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.